Yeah. Yeah. Hiya. Hiya. Hi. Drop. Power punch. Power punch. Karate chop. Uppercut. Uppercut. Back kick. Back kick. Yeah. So, that was a good movie. Very good movie. I enjoyed a lot of the movie. I thought it was very well done. There was some action. There was some crying. There was emotion. If I thought any of the movies, out of all of the Marvel movies, deserved an Oscar, this would be the one. That's not taking away Black Panther's Oscar. I'm just saying that this was the most emotional, compact Marvel movie ever. Without getting into spoilers, let's just start with the movie. Let's go through it. A lot of the stuff circling around right now says that, oh, the first 2 acts are really slow. I didn't enjoy it, but the 3rd act was good. I thought all 3 acts were great, and I thought it was building towards a precipice to a mountain. And that mountain was the peak of everything that is Marvel. If you're invested in these characters, you will like this movie. But what if I've only seen like 5 Marvel movies? Well, maybe you won't like it then. But it's a good movie, regardless. People who aren't invested in Marvel, people who didn't start on this journey from Iron Man day 1, they probably won't like the movie as much, especially the first 2 acts. If this was just a regular movie, yeah, the first 2 acts might be a little boring. But if you're invested in the characters and the journey, there's a lot of things that happen that take you back to, and they give you nods of what happened in the past, and they're good moments. I don't think I ever was actually bored throughout the movie. I think I liked this better than Infinity War, actually. But that said, the first 2 acts are slower, but they're not necessarily bad. If you go into the movie not expecting Infinity War, which was action, 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 you know, stuff happening all the time, this is a more methodical, thought out, drawn out process. This is kind of like the Sherlock Holmes of Marvel movies, the first 2 acts, and I like it. There's a lot of funny references in it. There's a lot of the jokes that don't take away from emotional moments, and that does build into the 3rd act. And without these first 2 acts, you wouldn't be getting the emotional punch that you would get had you not watched the first 2 acts. Yeah, you can say, oh, well, I watched the first 20 or so movies. Doesn't matter. You gotta watch the first 2 acts because it sets up how the ending happens and how the end of the entire Avengers franchise happens. And I'm not saying people die. I'm not saying people don't die. I'm not going to give spoilers for that. But I will say there's some moments in the movie that will make you go, yes! There's also moments that will make you go, I'm glad I saw this movie alone. But overall, it's a great movie. The reason why I like it better than Infinity War is just because of there's more. First off, think, Brian. First off, I like that. I like that it finally wraps everything up. With Infinity War, you knew it wasn't the end. You knew when emotional moments happened, or supposedly emotional moments happened, you knew that a lot of those people were coming back. This time around, when things happen, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. It's uncertain, you know. And it's just really tough that this had to happen the same weekend as the Winterfell battle. You know, it's going to be a tough weekend for a lot of people. We're here. We're here in arms. Brothers in arms. With that said, going to the movie alone was pretty good. Granted, I bought both the seats next to me, so no one would have to sit by me. Nice move, bruh. Thanks, dude. Shout out. Okay, cut that. That's weird. It surprised me with the amount of people that showed up. I mean, I knew it was going to be sold out, but at 9 in the morning, I had a 70-year-old lady next to me, and I think a pretty young couple to the left of me, obviously with a seat in between. I think she was happy that I bought the extra seat because she was on the end, but she liked that no one was sitting by her. I could tell. She was laughing. Whole movie, she was cracking up, so I was like, I had to crack up. A couple of times she would like look at me. She'd be like, you laughing? I'd be like, yeah, I'm laughing. She'd be like, yeah. Anyways, so, you know, it was a good vibe. There was nobody was annoying. Nobody was loud. There was a couple moments where inside you're like, holy hell yes. A couple of those times people audibly gasped at that, and they would say things that you were thinking. So it wasn't necessarily bad, and it was like for 2 seconds. It was like, hell yeah, and it's like, let's go. Like, it got you pumped up, you know? It didn't take away from the movie. So I never had, and I didn't have this time, anybody that would ever distract me from the movie. If anything, they made the movie more enjoyable, I would say. Let's see. Scratch. Retake. I thought they handled everyone's character very well. I don't think anybody was put in the wrong place. I don't think anyone overstepped their time limits, and characters that should be in the spotlight were in the spotlight. I thought that was handled very well by the Russo brothers. There's a couple minor gripes that I have, but not enough to deter me away from really enjoying the movie. Obviously I'm not going to get into spoilers, but when you see it, you'll know. Don't talk about spoilers, Brian! Okay, without spoiling it, I guess I'll just leave it at that. And like I said, I was happy with how they handled all the characters. The beginning of the movie is kind of weird. Obviously I'm not going to tell you, but some things happen where you're like, whoa, where is this movie going to go? Alright, we've been waiting a while for this movie. Where's it going to go? But luckily, it goes a weird way that I liked. I'm sure a lot of people, and I think even some of the reviewers didn't like this, but I liked where it went. I liked how they handled it. I thought it was probably one of the best ways to do it. I don't know how else you would have handled this movie, Endgame, and how you were supposed to achieve the objective that they were faced with at the end of Infinity War. With that said, I was just doing a quick review. We're going to do a little bit of a podcast next week when Eric gets back. We're going to talk about Winterfell, the Battle of Winterfell, Game of Thrones halfway through, and we're going to talk about Endgame. He's going to go see that, and I think Trevor might be seeing it too. So we will get into more in-depth spoiler discussion next week. But for now, I'm just going to do a quick review. Out of our 5 rating system, I would give it a 4.25 out of 5. Which I think is gold. Yeah, I think it goes poop, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, this has been the first review of many of Brian's review. And are you done? Stop! Okay, so that's been another review of Brian. Alright, but here is one thing I will say about the movie, and it's kind of a spoiler, but and that's just that's just a minor spoiler. I didn't want to like spoil the whole thing, but that's one thing I thought you should know. So this has been just a quick review with Brian. Anything else I want to talk about, get off my chest before I send this out? Yeah, I could talk like Jeff Goldblum. He's all over the place. Oopsies. This song's about Avengers Endgame. Can't tell any spoilers, it's kinda lame. So I'll tell you about that one part. Oh wait, it's a spoiler, I can't tell. This movie is awesome. take off work and see it with everyone. This is stupid. I'm so done. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.